the performing arts is important.
Okay, so I'm not entirely sure when we cut off, so I'll just repeat what I said, which wasn't much anyway. Just that, as with many industries, the arts has been historically and infamously not inclusive in terms of minority groups and their involvement, their ability, not ability themselves, but not being given a platform and an opportunity to be involved in the arts, particularly professionally. So for that reason, it's obviously a very important topic. Lara, what do you think?
I think there's like the image of, so theatre stereotypes, as in people who are involved in theatre being very exclusive, being very like, well, I'm sorry, I have the best of the best.
The theatre lovey sort of stereotype. Not that we don't love a theatre lovey.
Yeah, love a theatre lovey, but it's not just, you know, theatre can be of any background, of any type, like,
yeah,
it's not specifically for a certain type of person, and I think that is important to express.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we thought about when staging our shows outside of theatre spaces, because I think often you get the same crowd going to a theatre over and over again, which is brilliant because you get that repeat audience who's really interested in that type of culture, that type of art, and obviously we're those type of people. We love theatre, that's why we make theatre. But by taking theatre out of the theatre, we hope that it might make people who might normally feel like going into a theatre isn't a them thing,
something daunting,
then hopefully they would feel more comfortable coming into a bookshop or museum,
the local park.
So that's something we hope to achieve with our inclination to stage things in strange places.
I guess inclusivity also means just trying to give opportunities to as many people as possible. So with a lot of the things we do, we like to ungender the characters as much as we can, so that we can give opportunities to different people. We ungendered Midsummer Night's Dream, actually. Most of them, to be honest, ended up in the typical role, but we've got Quince, who is technically, I guess, a male character, and that's being played very well by a woman.
Yeah, we went into auditions not only open to the idea of changing the assigned gender of the characters, but also some of them we were quite keen on trying to sort of flip it on its head, but it all depends on the people we saw. We didn't care about whether their gender matched the official gender of the character. It was more what that person as a person did with the role. And it's the same with all minority performers. We wouldn't assign parts based on someone's ethnicity or someone's abilities. So I think that's really important, to not be sort of blinded by what the character is traditionally like.
Try not to go into an audition environment with a preconceived notion of what you think a character should be, because sometimes you're just surprised. Like I never thought, like our Puck, for example, was not what I expected the Puck to be. And you can't go in there with an idea of like, yes, this is what this character's going to be, because you're just going to be blown out the water anyway.
And that's the way the industry is going as well. Like you can see with the more recent productions, both like on screen and on stage, I'd say you get so much of a wider range of performers on stage, and the work is so much the better for it. So I think it's something to really strive for and celebrate, and it's definitely something that we'll always look to be doing when we're casting our shows or when we're getting backstage teams together and that sort of thing.
Cool. So the next question: how can the industry, in our opinion, be more inclusive?
Well, I think there are steps being taken in general to be more inclusive, particularly in terms of call outs for actors. Often say we're looking for BAME performers particularly, which I think is a really great step in the right direction. I think the way I can personally relate to how the arts could be more inclusive is like young people being given the opportunity to break into them more, because that's something that we've definitely observed as something that's difficult. We know really talented and driven people who found it so hard to break in, even at the very entry level jobs, assistants, not even maybe in the department they're interested in working in, and it's just so hard for them to break in. And that's why we sort of broke off and were like, well, we'll do it ourselves then, and we'll give other people like us those opportunities if we can.
I also think that a lot of the time, if you tell someone you want to go into like acting or theatre or TV, everyone's like, okay, yeah, and what's your backup career? And that's sort of I guess a nasty attitude to have. I don't think it's like an intentional thing. I think a lot of it comes from genuine concern, because it is notoriously difficult to get into. But I think we should start addressing why people say, if I say I want to become an actor, why people think I have to have a backup career, whereas if I'm like, I want to be a dentist, no one's like, okay, right, and what's your backup for that?
What if that goes wrong, Lara?
Yeah,
definitely. I think it's a problem that spreads outside of the arts, but I think the arts in general need more funding for new stuff, for underrepresented groups to produce work and all. It's kind of a governmental level, really. I'd say a lot of the problems there.
I also think it's interesting how much media attention art has been given within the current like lockdown situation, because obviously we're all stuck inside. What do? We put on the TV, or people watch the National Theatre streams, or people start to make things and create things, and then we see how much of our lives are impacted by the arts, and I guess it's sort of a less taking it for granted situation.
Yeah, when everyone's lives have slowed down the way, not everyone's have, obviously key workers are still working really hard every day, but then for some portion of the population everything's just paused and people are at home with essentially nothing to do, and that's when people are turning to creativity and to art, and they're really missing going out and being able to see that sort of stuff. So I think hopefully it will get a bit more appreciation. And to be fair, the Arts Council, their 10-year plan is called Let's Create, I think, and one of their key things is getting new and young talent into the industry and giving them the opportunities to make work. So I really hope that that's something that takes off, because that sounds like exactly what we need. Especially disability-led, female-led, BME-led, and LGBT-led work. So sounds great to me.
Yeah. I also think it's a good thing, I think, to specifically for young people. So in schools, for example, because obviously there's been a focus on STEM work, which is great because we need it. But also not everybody has an aptitude towards STEM. So I think getting arts as like a valued subject in school would be a good idea. So trying to bring sort of theatre and art to young people from a young age, and then have that sort of build up with them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, the next question. Who or what inspires your practice?
That's
exciting.
That's a good question. I think it probably depends also on the different members of the team and what they do, because to explain a bit more about how we function, we've got the 3 Left Feet team who sort of decide what project we're going to do, or projects as the case often is, and sort of those overarching decisions. And then on the project we'll have a mini team based around whatever we're doing. So we'll have the director, the stage manager, the publicity, the design and making of all the stuff, all the actors, the band, all of these areas. So I think that different people's approaches will be inspired by different things. So like I'm an absolute fiend for puppets and masks, and there's a couple of companies that really inspire what I make. So Blind Summit and Knee High Theatre Company are companies who really, really inspire my approach to things. Do you have anyone who particularly inspires you, Lara?
I don't know if it's sort of a personal company necessarily. I like I like stories, I like writing, I do that partly at university. I do English literature and creative writing, so I like to come from it from sort of that perspective to see how we can create stories more, I guess, than we're going to put on a show perspective.
Yeah, you're definitely like the literary side of things, aren't you? And the ideas gal. You have a really like clear style of directing, I find, which is very characterful and funny and like sort of
haphazard.
I find the way you do things, it's very cheeky. There's like a very clear voice there. I don't know who it reminds me of in terms of sort of inspiration. I'm sure there is someone.
Yeah.
But as a company though, I think we're mostly just inspired by stories. We really like good stories. That's why we look to classic plays and books and fairy tales as our stimuli, because we just love, at the crux of it, a really good story that really draws people in.
That's another reason why we why we like to put theatre in unusual spaces, because when we creating a production, because we like to tell these stories, we want everything to be part of it. So we do a lot of sort of audience interaction within our things. We like to make the whole room part of the production.
Yeah, I feel like sort of I'd like to, if possible, use all 5 senses. So we obviously have the visuals and we have the sound from the actors and from the band, hopefully, and then if I could bring in the smell and the taste as well, and what's the last one? Tactile. Like we had mince pies at A Christmas Carol, which brought the taste of Christmas as well. It's that sort of all-round experience, kind of immersive, but not in the sense of walking around a space and being in the show, but immersive in that when you enter the door, you're in the world of the play, rather than you sit down and then the curtains open and then they shut and it's over.
Yeah. I think that was, we did A Fisherman's Tale, and the room that we did it in was in the Maritime Museum, so it felt like you were in a boat, and that was real cool.
Yeah, and the captain was addressing the audience as though they were random people who turned up on their boat, which people found quite entertaining.
Amusing but alarming.
Yeah, definitely.
How is our practice promoting inclusivity?
Similar, we kind of covered this by accident before, I think, but yeah, the way we have typically run auditions in the past, which has been kind of come as you are, don't prepare anything, you don't need any experience. We want to see everyone and anyone,
all levels.
Oh, I've just thought, importantly, we're not only a theatre company, we're also an events company. Or we will be when we get to put on our event. This summer we were going to stage an arts festival in Williamson Park, which was billed to be a celebration of all artsy and creative people in the surrounding area, giving people an opportunity to show off what they do, a wider audience. People could come and see what they might not ordinarily see.
Put on workshops, get involved like that.
Yeah, workshops, artists, people selling their creative crafts and things. And that whole event is kind of centered around inclusivity and accessibility on both sides of things. I feel like we always think on both sides of the show, so the show itself and the audience.
Yeah, because we kind of like we want to get people involved as much as possible and create an almost like artistic and like comfortable community where people can create a network of contacts, people can have this platform to get involved, to sell their work. It doesn't matter if you've been doing it like 2 years, 10 years, about 20 minutes.
So, and I think that makes the arts seem like a thing that can be for everyone and not just a special thing for certain types of people, because anyone can sign up to perform and anyone can attend. Hopefully we tried to make the cost as low as possible so that you could pay just £5 and see as many things as you want in a day, which we hoped would be an opportunity as well to get people in who might not ordinarily be able to afford to go to a theatre show, which might be £15-20 for one ticket.
That is another thing. We've tried to keep our productions quite like as low cost as we can, because obviously we're new, so we do need to try and make some sort of money, but at the same time we don't want to alienate people from what we do. So we always kept that in mind, because I mean, everyone is a former student in the left feet part. I'm a current student, kind of. So we're very aware, you know, how much the theatre can cost.
Yeah, and we were looking to find as many ways as possible to get as many people involved as we could. So I was looking into trying to get sort of bus deals so people could get a sort of joint bus ticket and ticket for the festival, so maybe they could afford more easily to get to the event, and all these sorts of avenues of things that we really want to look into, because we want it to be for everyone. We know it won't be for everyone, not everyone will be interested.
And if you don't want to come, that's fine.
We won't force you. But anyone who wants to come and see something or do something, we want to make that possible, because it should be for everyone. Arts should be for all.
Okay, so what are we most looking forward to when quarantine is over, personally and within the industry?
Good question.
That's ominous.
Well, I really like going for coffee and cake. Some people go for drinks, I go for coffee and cake. And I just really want to go to the Herbarium in Lancaster, shout out to the vegan cafe, amazing cakes, really amazing peas on toast, which sounds weird, but it's so good. I miss that stuff.
My parents have moved to Jersey, which is where I am currently. Although I've not been anywhere. I've taken the dog for a walk to the beach, and that's as far as I've been. So it'll be interesting to go beyond the house.
Actually see the place you've moved to.
I mean, it looks exciting on Google Maps.
I'm sure it would be. I think as a company, I was thinking about this a lot, because obviously everything's really up in the air at the moment. No one knows when this is going to be sorted out. No one knows when we're going to be able to go back outside properly. No one knows when all the restrictions, everything's going to be safe enough for all the restrictions to be lifted. So no one really knows when events are going to happen again. As a theatre company, obviously that's quite sort of unnerving. So definitely looking forward to some sort of semblance of being able to plan. I am a planner through and through.
You are a planner. This must have been hell for you.
Yeah, I've really had to embrace it and just go with the flow. It's been quite nice actually so far.
Elspeth shocked me the other day because she was like, yeah, we'll do the meeting at 11 because that's who I am these days. I was like, whoa.
11 a.m. instead of 9 a.m. It's wild.
Yeah. Usually Elspeth's like, right, 9 a.m. sharp, we'll be there.
But something that a lot of people in this industry will be considering, I think, is when people are going to come back to the theatre and to festivals and stuff, because on the one hand, everyone's probably going to be really eager to get back to these things they were looking forward to, and on the other hand, everyone's going to be quite scared of being in close proximity to people. So
it's all right just saying, right, we're putting this play on now, but everyone's going to be like, well, I don't know, has it gone? What's
really safe? Yeah, so it's I'm looking forward to it getting back to a place where people aren't scared anymore to be in big groups. And I'm really hoping, what I'm looking forward to, which I hope will happen, is a new appreciation for the arts. Because I think, as you were saying earlier, Lara, with everyone being stuck in their houses and watching things online, I think people will hopefully come flocking back and really appreciate it. And as well as the government, I want this to be a bit of a wake-up call to the government, like, look what was important when everyone was scared and sad and lonely. It was the arts. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know if it's a pipe dream, but
on a slightly more selfish level, I am looking forward to putting on Midsummer. Gosh damn it.
Our cast have worked so hard.
I know.
Like, don't worry, guys.
Well,
1 year
promotion.
I'm also really looking forward to Arts in the Park. I was so looking forward to it, and I like to think that we had so many people interested on our event and so many people sign up.
It's exciting.
And I want that excitement back, because I think it's going to be a really lovely day. So I'm really excited.
On that note, we were quite shocked about all of the engagement we got for Arts in the Park, because before we sort of set up, we were briefly panicking, like, oh my god, what about 3 people want to, come up and sign up? But no, it also, I guess, it proves how many people are interested in the arts, and like, it's not sort of talked about.
Yeah, and it also was quite a nice demonstration of how it's fully possible to be inclusive, because a lot of people, I think, will look at the area they live in and maybe think, oh, but there's not that much diversity of people here, so I can't be inclusive really. But we had some really broad range of people sign up. We had an Indonesian artist, which was really unexpected but so exciting.
Who did
we
like
had a lady
stories
from an additional needs school with artwork that the children had done, and it's all these ways that anyone can get involved, and we didn't even know they were there.
Also, sort of, this is going to sound weird, but inclusivity within what they do. So I kept joking about a wicker basket weaving workshop. We had a wicker basket weaving workshop sign up, and like, the arts isn't just we put on a play and watch the play. Like, it can be a whole range of things, which is cool.
Definitely.
Okay, where can viewers find us?
Dun. What a beautifully designed.
You're truly an artist.
So this is our social media. You can find us at these platforms, and this is our website. So you can find us here. I don't know if there have been any questions asked, but if you have any, please ask. I'll put our social media and stuff back. But,
will we? Yes, we will. No,
I'll try and look online. I can't see any questions.
Well, if anybody does have any questions, you've got our social media, and we are happy to talk to you. We're generally quite good at replying, except for me, but everyone else is quite good at replying.
We've got 3 minutes left of being live. Is there anything else you have to add, Lara, or anything we might not have covered from the questions?
I don't think so. My only thing would be, if you're interested in I guess being part of things that we do, so you know, trying to work with us, or to be you're interested in asking any questions or getting involved in future events, then please feel free to talk to us, because we're pretty open and easy.
And on the topic of future events, we are currently in the process of organising a virtual version of Arts in the Park. So we don't have all the details tied up for this yet, but if anyone would like to present work they've made during lockdown, anyone who originally signed up and now can't perform this year, please come next year, or anyone who was going to sign up for Arts in the Park and didn't, if you contact us about our virtual event, then we might be able to feature you in that, which would be really great. Is there anything else to mention at this point? I don't think so.
We're getting close to time, so I guess we can.
Last thing, if people want, so this has been part of Forward Thinking, a virtual day of inclusivity, which I said at the start, but people might have missed. There is an event, it's linked on the live video, I believe, which lists all of the other poets, artists, actors, etc., who are doing half an hour chats like this. So if you want to see theirs, just go through to the link, and all of the subsequent links are on there. And thank you to Helena as well for asking us to be involved.
Yes, that was a nice email we got.
Yeah. One quick check for questions. I don't think we have any.
Do some elevator music while you do that.
I'm wrong. A question has been asked.
Exciting.
Oh no, now I'm playing myself. Hang on, here we go. Is it this one? We're so technologically advanced.
Yes.
I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Do we stage plays by female and or BAME playwrights? And someone else was about to suggest a virtual event. Well, great minds think alike, Linda. So yeah, Christina wanted to ask, oh, we've got a couple of questions. Now I can't stop playing the video. Okay, so you mentioned in your Shakespeare, in your intro, Shakespeare, Dickens, C.S. Lewis, do you stage female and or BAME playwrights? That's a really good question, actually, because I think because of our interest in classic stories, that's why we have done these male-written like novels and plays, just because of the, you know, accessibility for female playwrights in the past. However, Lara.
Yeah, it would also be we're pretty open to anything really. It'd be I think to notice, so the Fisherman's Tale one, it was done collaboratively by a group and partially written by me. The Dickens was actually adapted by a couple of students. So we're not doing straightforward plays. We're doing sort of our own adaptations, but we are happy to do pretty much anything. So the two writers who did A Christmas Carol, they got in touch with us. So if anybody comes to us with any sort of ideas, then we would be absolutely happy to do them. Again, regardless of background.
Yeah, we haven't done any yet, but that's not because we don't want to or we won't. Yeah. It's more, I think we definitely have a clear interest in classic stories. But something I wanted to look at, Angela Carter, her Bloody Chamber and other stories are fantastic, and that's fairy tales swung in another way. So I mean, things like that I would love to look into. So we would definitely. And also BAME playwrights, again, we haven't looked into it, but it's not because we wouldn't and don't want to. It's more as well because we haven't looked at contemporary work yet. We're only very young as a company. We started in August last year, so 2019. So it's more of a case of,
and if you've got any ideas, come to us.
Always open to hearing people's ideas. That's a good question though, and something that I think is really important to think about, because people say a lot of the time, like, oh well, we're female led and we're about women, and then we forget to check, who, and I don't mean just us, but generally you forget to check then who are you.
It's not a universal experience.
I don't think there are any more questions, but hopefully I'm not wrong. So on that note, I guess we will wrap it up. Lara, would you like me to tell you how to end it? Unless I can end the live stream. Okay. If you go to the top left corner.
No, I've got it.
You've got it. Oh, we're learning already. Right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. And bye-bye.
See you in a bit.